on theritzes.com, we'll be reviewing a staple here at the Ritz household called The Last Word. If you're into verbal word games, this is definitely going to be a choice that you're going to want you and your family to have a little fun with. We've played this game with up to about 8 people. It's just as fun with maybe 3 or 4 is really kind of where it gets to be really good. But we've had up to 8 people play this game, and it's a laugh riot. It gets really loud, really crazy. It's really a lot of fun. So let's open it up and take a look. Alright, here you see we have very few moving parts. We've got 2 decks. We've got a letter deck where the cards are just letters of the alphabet. Okay? And then we have subject cards, which are like adjectives, things you sit on, things with wheels, all sorts of craziness. You have your typical color-coded pieces and corresponding little chips. We'll get to those in a minute. And this little 2-piece board. I don't know why they went with that route, but that's okay. It's kind of cool. And then the other unique thing is this unique randomized timer. You never know when this thing's going to go off. It generates anywhere up from like 5 seconds clear up to like 30 seconds. And you never know how long it's actually going to take. For those of you who actually go out and get this game, there's actually a switch that's an on and off switch that you're going to need to flip on and off. I always forget it, and the first time we push the button and it never goes off. But the way this works is you'll have 2 cards in your hand, and someone around the table, it doesn't matter who, is going to flip a letter card. Now, everyone's going to race to be the first person to put down a subject card and hit the buzzer to start the gameplay. And say I'm the first one to rush in there and drop my card down, and I push the button and I say, all about birthdays, singing. And I think of all the things about birthdays that come up with S. Okay? And everybody is yelling out everything they can think of about birthdays that starts with S. And the last person to say a word in its entirety before the buzzer goes off gets to move their piece 1 spot forward. If I was in the middle of saying singing when the buzzer went off, say I got to sing and it went ah, that doesn't count. Okay, you got to get the whole word in before the buzzer goes off. And then I would draw another subject card. A couple other things you need to know about the game. There will come a point in time when everyone around the table will be looking at their cards and they'll get like the letter U and they're not able to come up with anything. The house rule here at the Ritz household is that you may challenge one person once a game, and they have to put down one of their cards and try to come up with something that says U or whatever the letter is before the buzzer can go off. If they can do it, they'll move 2 places. If they can't do it, I'll move 1. Okay? One last thing, these color chips we talked about earlier. Once a game, say you're looking at your cards and you just don't like them. Kitchen utensils and vegetables. Definitely 2 topics I know very little about. I would spend my color chip to discard both of my subject cards to draw 2 new ones. That's what those little color chips are for. Okay? And that's the last word. Your goal is to get all the way around the board at 1 space at a time, or 2 if you got challenged and you won. And the first person to the finish wins. That's the last word. If you haven't played this yet, you've probably not been to our house. So come on over. Let us teach you a little bit about The Last Word. It's a great game, especially if you have a lot of people.